on again.
Oh, I like the background, the oceanscape.
Yeah,
Sunset.
Evening time. Check. 1 2 1 2. Hey, much aloha, love, and life. My name is Jerome James, and we're hanging out here. It is Tuesday. Is it Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday the what?
It's the 26th of July. Glad to be here at your studio.
Nice, thank you so much, Mr. John. Okay, so real quickly, the closer you are, so here I'll give you an example. The closer you are.
Test.
So it's like if you're like right there, you can really be heard.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
great. Yeah, you're right.
So it's a thing. We're all learning, and we're all learning how to use microphones.
Yeah.
Who knows how to use a microphone out there in the world? Do you? Do you know how to use a microphone? Be heard and really be heard in a microphone? Well, we're here. We're hanging out. You know what? I do have a little bit of a latency issue. So can you, everybody, this is John Remis. I want to let him introduce to you right now. This is Mr. John! Say something.
All right, guys. Yeah. Pleasure to be at Jerome's studio here to see his operation. I've been a fan of his art. You know, his drumming. I like the way he, puts that energy out in the community, and I describe myself as doing similar in more subtle ways. In terms of art, I like to write. I've always done that, done introspection and observation on the world and society, and with the idea that we can combine different aspects of spirituality and religion to create our own definition of how to approach the world. And actually the idea of the microphones, it made me think of the concept of public speaking. And I also do some activism and involving coexistence with the animals, like against fur, like a fur ban, that type of thing, and also other issues. But basically, the point is, like, when you're expressing yourself out towards the community, there are ways to meet different people. Try to either with humor. Actually, I use a lot of humor. I try to gauge whether people are in the mood to talk about something, but taking the initiative and putting it out there, putting your thoughts out there, and I write a lot. Like, I write down, but the point is just the point of expressing your truth and knowing the context and when to do it, or when not to do it. We all have ideas on the world and the most efficient ways of maybe being happy, but that's also relative. I've found, different people have different pursuits and different goals. So just kind of orienting myself around my truth, trying to not have contradiction in the way I speak and my actions, and equally learning to understand people and their truths, what motivates them, and respecting that, not wanting to change. It's kind of this way of like seeing people as being different, instead of better or lesser than ourselves. Obviously there's exceptions, like people who have they're criminals or bad people. That's kind of a different category, but I'm just talking like in general, like people have their approach to life, and I think it's important for all of us to understand people, and the faster we know people, then the faster we can see how we want to relate to them and how we can serve one another, or maybe even suggest or reference them to some other friends that we know, and try to be community minded, not just expect people to approach you, but take the initiative. We're entering into this realm that's more about the individual, and that's a good thing if everyone is informed and they're willing to talk to each other and engage, instead of just maybe staying to themselves or having just disputes on social media chats, but actually being their own individual, communicating who they are and boundaries and their wants to other people. And instead of depending on a whole group to do that of people, we can serve so many functions ourselves in this day and age. What do we how are we doing on the everything's good on?
Yeah. So I was just letting you talk. I'm actually gonna change my buffer size right now.
Okay.
It may come quiet. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't. Let's see. Let's check.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. Okay, so my buffer size has changed. Hopefully I have less. I'm gonna do one more setting change.
All right.
Reduce latency when monitoring. Okay, and hopefully that helps out a little bit. I was hearing a little bit of fang in there. And yeah, we're hanging out. This is Mr. John Remis, everyone. He's a mind of our generation. And you know what I mean? He's handling it out there, and he's like really experiencing it from like this really amazing way. We're hanging out here at the studio. This is Jerome James, Golden Light Studios, Mr. John Remis in the house. We're hanging out, y'all. We love y'all. We'll see you soon. Check 1 2, and we're back. Jerome James, Golden Light Studios, hanging out.
Yeah, music sounds great.
Music sounds great, right? We're having fun. All right, so let's do a little bit of banter over here. Hanging out here at the studio, we were just like, all right, let's go to the studio. Let's make a quick broadcast. Let's check out our levels. I did a stream yesterday. And when I checked it, there was no audio.
None whatsoever?
There was no audio. It's just like, what is going on? And it looked like we did have some trouble today. There was something that was happening. And then it's like going away and coming back. So I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to go troubleshoot that.
Maybe two apps interfering with each other,
No, it's nothing like that. I mean, it's all hardware here mostly. So, but anyway, we're here. We're hanging out. We want to talk. We want to talk about things. We want to talk to you. We want to get some inspiration. Yeah. We want to get some inspiration. We want to get some inspiration. We want to share some inspiration. Mr. Remus.
Hey, man.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah, Remus.
And your middle name is Aolani? What is it?
It's a Hawaiian name. It's Analani.
Analani. What does Analani mean?
It means seed in the sky. So it's all the Lanis are special. It's like meant to be a term for like the spiritual, the spirit. But in terms of identity, that would be like how do we identify ourselves? Me, I see myself as being a citizen of the world. And furthermore, a unity consciousness person who believes in the universal mirror, where if you have goals and you want to achieve them, then the universe gives you things to get ready for those goals, or stuff that you have to face in front of you, and so sometimes to get to the goal you have to work through something that doesn't seem directly related, but it's the process of being able to work through these random situations. A great example would be just if people have a special goal of becoming, successful, or in the entertainment industry, there's most people in general just work regular jobs, but that prepares you, that improves your work ethic and your communication skills, and shows you the value of time, and ultimately, no matter how successful you become, you should be able to. Most of the people around you, even your family, they'll be working more, standard jobs. Who knows how much what they'll do in their life, but just the idea of, being able to do things, being able to understand the world around you, so that the more informed you are. That's what I was touching on earlier. Just this understanding of your truth, what your truth is, and then what the truth is of what's going on around you, people's other people, what's being able to read people,
Okay. So I'm glad we are doing our work. All of us are doing our own work, because that's the funny part, is we're all doing our own work, and that's really, really beautiful. And the way we do things is differently, and that's okay, right? That's okay. People are different, and we as humans, we need to be tolerant. Because if we're not tolerant, we're not tolerant. And I don't think tolerant being intolerant, untolerant. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah. Well, what really caught me is the word different that you used, and my thought is that if you start to see what they do as like different types of sports, like how people are interested in different sports, like that's a less judgmental way of looking at people. Like for example, I'm into like I have these goals of marriage that not everyone see that as, for them it's just different for them. It's a different sport or that they prefer, and they even if they're not interested in marriage, it's I wanted to touch on my ideas about chakra activation. That's kind of my personal philosophy. What I have to add to the world, the idea world. What do you think?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, I am here, I am ready to listen, and I'm ready to share, and I hope you guys are too. So this is John Remus, and he's going to give us a little bit of chakra rendition. You want some music behind you?
Yeah, of course, man. The music really, I think, makes it. So if you look at life in terms of needs, desires, and wants, that would be the first three chakras. And I have found that if one can activate their own chakras, it allows them to have control over their life and not hope that other people will activate their chakras and not be dependent on them. And once you get control of your eternal working stuff that you have to deal with on a daily basis from my standpoint. But when you do that, it allows you to approach the world in the fourth chakra, which is it's like unconditional awareness, or just being able to be present and not have any ulterior motives when you're around other people, not need anything from them. So simply speaking, the first chakra is meeting your basic needs. If you can do that yourself, it makes it so you've taken care of that yourself, and you're not looking to, like, for example, let's say a person's hungry. If they go out on the in public, then that issue of hunger is going to be on their mind, and so as a result, it's going to steer them in certain directions. Just the same if they're in their power chakra, the third chakra of emotions, and they're looking for friendly encouragement when they're in public, they'll be vulnerable to people who might use that friendly, attempt to do friendly encouragement as to manipulate you. So basic needs you can meet. Second chakra is your intimacy. Self-intimacy allows you to control that. For men, I recommend twice daily. But just being aware that that's a force that is acting upon you, and to manage it. When we're in control of our lives, we are able to be happier. In other words, be in the fourth chakra or higher states of being. Now keep in mind, the first chakra, it's all sequential, so you got to meet your basic needs, and then you start to get that desire energy. You want to address that as well. Instead of hoping other people, even your desires will control you, right? So you've got your first, and it has to be like, so you meet your basic needs, then your desires, and then you have your power chakra, which is important. The third chakra, I find that you can activate it yourself by doing exercise, self-reflection or introspection, journaling, listening to yourself, and and encouraging yourself using positive affirming mantras, as opposed to hoping other people will empower you or say, hey, you're doing good, or even stuff like apologizing or anything. If you can internally work that, and if you can think of, okay, you're dealing with the universe instead of, it's a little abstract, but if you're thinking about it in terms of you and the universe and the interconnectedness, then you can process stuff. You can think, okay, even if that person doesn't say sorry to me, I'm aware of that, and I don't let that energy hold me back. I'm not saying not to avoid people or be careful. The first chakra involves safety as well, so that's being careful, right? That's being cautious. In fact, I have a website dedicated to these concepts and more details about healthy relationships and self-control. It's called cautiouslove.com. That's cautiouslove.com. But yeah, so you've got your three lower chakras, right? And by the way, like I was saying, the first chakra has to do with safety as well. You don't want to be in a higher chakra if a place is unsafe. So if you're like in your, let's say you've activated your lower chakras and you're going through the day, you've met your intimate needs at least once in the morning, once at night. You're spiritually, you're empowering yourself. Another big thing, exercise and creative activities, that all activates that third chakra, that sense of having, that creative flow and energy, and so when you do that and you've got those three chakras activated and you're in the fourth chakra and you're in public, say, sometimes you got to revert to the first chakra and be defensive. And so the point is you don't want to be in public or at the very least in situations that might be compromising, where other people might try to manipulate you. How do manipulators work, guys? They offer you something that that they think you need, and sometimes they won't even offer it. They'll just hand it to you, and it's kind of a forced gift. Let's just use a simple example. Let's say somebody wants to take you out to movies and dinner. Now, if you're full, if you've already met your basic needs, you'll be not so worried about needing or wanting them to do that for you. If you've been your own friend and your own encouragement, you won't feel lonely. Same goes with the intimate element. You won't need any external input or interaction. All you really need is when you're out there and you're in this theoretical scenario, you and even going to the movies, nothing is free, guys. Like, of course, if it's with a trusted person, you might compromise a little, and then maybe you treat them back next times. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who may have ulterior motives, or even if it's a platonic, date to the movies, like it's some friend that's trying to invite you. It might, if they're treating, it might influence the type of food that you consume. It might influence the type of movie you see. Hey, Jerome. Yeah, so I was just touching on the process of activating the first three chakras and giving the for instance of somebody, it would be it platonic or not. Let's say they invite somebody to go to the movies and dinner, and if you haven't activated your chakras, yourself, and you don't, if you haven't eaten already, and if you haven't, if you haven't like encouraged yourself, so you're feeling like hungry and lonely, then it makes it easier for someone to, take you in a situation where they're giving you something you need, and then you might feel psychologically obligated to them. I like my exchanges to be clear and open, and in which both parties, feel there's a fair exchange. This is the broader approach would be the whole fair trade thing, with the world that we live in. And we got some music. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So what else do you notice about me? Or like I mentioned my website. I do have a TikTok as well. That's fun. What's one thing you think I've been you like about my work, or something you've noticed that you thought I could explain better on the show? Maybe we could go there. And by the way, I like, as I said in the beginning of the show, I like what Jerome does. I like he's got involvement in different community things that go on, even wedding ceremonies. He does work for and just there's a special event, Luna Vibes. He does a lot there to enhance the experience there with good food and different sorts of kombucha.
We definitely do kombucha there. We definitely do have the kombucha happening. I gotta really sit down and figure out what I'm doing for this next Lunar Vibe, because I have a lot of responsibilities in different ways, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? So, things are happening. We're having a lot of fun. All right. So, in terms of your chakra, actually, you asked me one thing. You asked me to talk about you, right?
I was just wondering, like, you know me, and my approach, like trying to dissect how people work and how society works. So yeah, what's one thing that's like caught your attention that I'm working on?
Well, Mr. John Remus is doing the work out there. I mean, I just like I guess when I was younger, I was like definitely a lot more like full on, you know what I mean? But these days, I'm definitely much more of a homebody and a family dude these days.
Right.
And that's because I have to be. You know what I mean? That's the place and time where we are at right now.
Yeah.
So
that's where you're putting your energy.
As I watch you, this man is just out there. He's just like He is wanting to have those conversations. He is just like, let's talk. But you know what I mean, and he's definitely non-judgmental and kind of comes into it with a really interesting outlook. So I'm really proud of him. Like this, to see the work he's doing. It's really cool. Yeah, and just how you are with people and in the community. It's really amazing to see someone just so like present and like full on supportive. I mean, I think that's a great word for Mr. John Remus. He's just like full on support, like emotional, physical, whatever it takes to support and get information and to share information is what he is going to do. So yes, man, you're doing the good work, and I'm appreciative of you. That's why, you know what I mean, like, yay.
Yeah, like so I like to approach things from a scientific, like when you look at things more objectively, like it's the scientific approach, the scientific method where you dissect things and try to make people feel heard and also hear people, so you can, you know, really understand and really observe and you know, share philosophy. It's kind of a playful hobby, actually. And it's sharing of knowledge, and if you're patient and listen, you can really gain more knowledge, because you can see through the stuff you don't want and the people's personalities, and then pick up the information that you want. And a good example of me giving energy is like some of the construction jobs I work. Sometimes I'm there not just for the payment exchange, but because I'm trying to contribute energy to the job and positive, you know, friendly comments to the other construction workers in a way that it makes it feel like it's a more of an art than just a labor, you know, and so it kind of brings this energy of like work satisfaction, you know. And that the job moves along. I mean, in a lot of these jobs, it's like it's about creating momentum on the job, so that people feel like there's progress and they feel respected, you know, as is, you know, everybody there, you know.
These are things that we're all good at. We're all good at so many different things. I mean, like, imagine if we really were able to get our talents in ways that were just like super there, and
you
benefit that would
me?
come out of it. I mean, like the world I'm talking about.
Oh, the world at
I'm
large.
talking about the world at large. If we all really kind of went and put all our talents in and really found out where we are needed. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just crazy. There's so many talented people. We did the Lunar Vibes open mic the other night, and it was like amazing. There were so many cool, talented people.
Really?
Yes. There's like so many, and that's every single tribe throughout the world. You know what I mean? Whether it be in America or Bolivia or Afghanistan, you know, there's always these people, these groups of people who are gathering and who actually are doing the righteous, like,
creative,
creative, good work for this world, you know. And we're out there. We're for sure out there, and a lot of us are, you know, not very well, you know, reciprocated. You know what I mean? A lot of us are just like still grinding. You know,
the artists.
Yeah. You know, and it is what it is, and we're learning, and it is a new time, so there is new ways to make money and new ways to share art, and let's figure that thing out, man. Let's get this going. This machine is like, you know, ready to go. You know, this machine is ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the ability that people have, the hopes is that these use of the internet and social media could be enhance that, like be advertisements or short looks at what people are, and then so we can actually meet in person and actually fully as an audience and artist performer, really, because that's ultimately, that's going beyond the screen, going beyond and really like earlier I was talking about communication and expressing our truths, and really it's just this idea of not being afraid of public speaking and not being afraid to express yourself, so you can really, that's like the highest level of human experience, and it's, everything else is just builds up to that, like, from working to even meeting our lower three chakras, like that's only like stuff that every other creature does just for survival. So to get into that heart space and be, it's just as important to be a good audience as a good creative person. It's like to really pay attention to someone and offer them critique, positive and constructive critique, to really, that's like the higher level of existence. And unless we realize that and don't just go into like, how people escape into like video games or TV or drug usage, those are things that, it's easier to do now since we have a lot of machines building, being able to produce our food and everything. Life's easier. So what path are we going to take, the sustainable, path?
Which path are we going to take? Which path are you going to take? Which path are we going to take? Which is the best path? Which is the path that we need to be taking right now? What is the path you are taking right now? Breathe into it, understand it, feel it, and move on into the next, because
movement.
Yes, life is just now and now and now and now, and time is happening. All of time is happening all the time. All of time is happening all the time. We're super thankful and happy to be here. This has been a really cool thing. Is there anything more that you wanted to say about your chakra sharings?
I feel like I offered an example, and it's basically the three chakras in order to get into the fourth chakra and beyond. I feel like I figured that out, and it took me, I learned the hard way, experimenting. I didn't learn what I just described in a book, although I'm sure that the information is available in different ways, but the way I expressed it, was my original thinking. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm super thankful to be in touch and hanging out with people who are thinking about their chakras. That means you. That means me. That means him. That means all our circle. We're thinking about our chakras. We're thinking about our chakras. Let's see. So we're gonna head out now. We're super.
Okay.
Check. Oh, there it is. I don't know how that just happened.
It's toggling.
But we're totally good. We're totally happy. I'm happy to be able to be here.
Audio's good.
And
audio's still figured out, or not figured out.
I know it. The funny thing is, it's getting better every single time, and I'm really happy about that. And I hope this benefits you. I hope this benefits me. I hope this benefits we. Because we are hanging out, and we're hanging out with us. So take a big breath in. Feel the gratitude. Peace and love. Mahalo.
Awesome, guys. Check the links in maybe the description for we can put my website there.
No, just say it right now, homie.
Oh, yeah. So, cautiouslove.com, like I was saying. And also my TikTok. It's Pegly Zaza. You can email me from my website if you want to communicate with me, and if you have something you notice about what I said and you think I should hear what you have to say, do talk. That's how you could show appreciation for me for sharing my philosophy.
Super epic. Much mahalo, everybody. Jerome James, Golden Light Studios. Hey, we'll see you next time. Mahalo.
Yeah. Well, that's really invigorating.